Now, on to our program. Growing up in Lansing, Michigan, Earvin Johnson Jr.'s father, Earvin Sr., worked the assembly line at General Motors by day, and in the evening he did janitorial work and collected garbage, occasionally with the help of his youngest son. It was an early lesson for Earvin Jr. that to achieve in life, he would need to do whatever it took. It is a lesson that has clearly served him well. Regarded as the greatest point guard of all time and one of the best to ever play the game, Earvin is also an incredibly successful entrepreneur, a catalyst for community and economic empowerment, and a champion for HIV awareness. Get comfortable with it, man. It's gonna be all night. It's gonna be all night. Earvin is just one of 7 athletes identified by Forbes as a billionaire, including the likes of Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Roger Federer, and Michael Jordan. However, unlike the others, the vast majority of his wealth did not come from his player earnings or endorsements, but from his businesses and his investments. During his time as a Laker in the 1980s and 90s, Earvin won 5 NBA championships, 3 NBA Finals MVP awards, 3 NBA MVP awards, was a 12-time NBA All-Star, and won an Olympic gold medal as a member of the Dream Team. He is inextricably tied to the Lakers and their former owner, Dr. Jerry Buss. Together, they revolutionized the game on and off the court by introducing the NBA and its fans around the world to Showtime. Earvin also shattered the stigma around HIV when in 1991 he announced he was HIV positive, instantly humanizing the fight against HIV/AIDS on a global scale. Through his Magic Johnson Foundation, established in 1991, and his tireless advocacy, Earvin has both raised awareness and worked to empower urban, ethnically diverse communities across the country. Today, Earvin owns and manages a vast business operation. At the helm of Magic Johnson Enterprises, he has negotiated deals and partnerships with some of the most well-known and successful companies in the business world, including PepsiCo, Starbucks, and Sony. Magic Johnson's Enterprises is currently a major player in food service as a 51% owner of Sodexo Magic, infrastructure investments and asset management via a joint venture with Chicago's own Loop Capital, and the insurance industry through majority ownership of Chicago-based Equitrust. Earvin's expanding sports portfolio includes ownership stakes in the NFL's Washington Commanders, MLB's World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers, I can't control everything, brother. WNBA's Los Angeles Sparks, MLS's LAFC, and the NWSL's Washington Spirit. Earvin lost his father in 2023, but he often attributes his success to the early foundation provided by his parents, particularly the work ethic his father ingrained in him. He boasts with pride that when Earvin Sr. retired from General Motors, he received an award for never calling in sick or being late in 30 years. Obviously, the apple has not fallen far from the tree. welcome to the Economic Club of Chicago, Earvin Magic Johnson.
And Brett, you were just fantastic. And then I look on the dais, man, a lot of my friends and people that I love and do business with. And the thing that really disturbed me, though, Kevin is doing such a wonderful job of rebuilding your Bears. The applause should have been louder for him. So I wanted to make sure that that happened, and then I'm in competition with most of these people up here owning all the teams and everything. But thank you again. God is good again, and I'm just happy to be here.
Absolutely. Well, look, if it wasn't obvious to you before, Chicago loves you.
Well, thank you.
Chicago loves you.
Thank you.
Now we know that Los Angeles can be a little clingy, and you're an LA guy, and they get a little jealous. But tonight you're ours.
That's right.
Chicago loves you, and we're gonna prove that all night long.
Yes.
But we also know, though, that deep down in your bones, you Lansing, Michigan.
That's right.
You Lansing, Michigan, right?
Midwest boy.
All day long, right?
Midwest boy.
And so, and you grew up, we talked a bit about your parents, hardworking, blue collar, and Lansing is, great community. Can you tell us how growing up in Lansing and with your family, how did it impact sort of the person that you've become, but also in particular, were there ever any opportunities or instances where you were introduced at an early age to business and to spark that interest as well?
Well, first of all, I think what you said about my father, it started there. And watching him work as hard as he worked to put food on the table for 10 kids, right? 6 sisters, 3 brothers, and helped me understand that everything that I was going to achieve in life, I had to work for it and have an incredible work ethic. I remember one day we were on the trash truck, and it was one of them cold, I'm talking about cold days. A lot of snow, a lot of ice. My job was to get all the loose trash around the barrel and put it on the truck. Well, I did it halfway, and I jumped in that cabin of the truck because it was cold. And he opened that door and grabbed me, because my father was a strong man, with one hand, and tucked me back to that barrel and said, "Son, if you do this job halfway, you'll do everything in life halfway."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So chop up the ice, get the paper out of there, and put it on the truck. And that stuck with me. So then I became a perfectionist after that day. Mm-hmm. And then there was 2 men that looked like us, Greg Eaton and Joe Ferguson, who owned car dealerships and buildings back in Lansing, Michigan. And that was a big deal, to have 2 African-American men who were doing great business and also power players in our city. And I asked my father, "Well, who are they? They got a Mercedes-Benz, and like, wait a minute, I want to drive one of those cars."
Yeah.
And he said, "They're great men, and I want to introduce you to them." So he introduced me to them. I was about 13, 14 years old at that time. And what happened was they knew who I was from me playing basketball.
Okay.
And that shocked me, right?
Yeah.
And so they took an interest in me, as I did with them. And so when I became 16, they both called me and said, "I want to give you your first job." And man, it changed my dreams. Because my first dream was just to make it to the NBA. Mm-hmm. But after seeing them in their office and buying up everything in Lansing, Michigan, it changed my dreams. Then I wanted to become a businessman. They became my mentors. They taught me a lot about business, and I took off from there. And what's so beautiful about it right now, one just passed away last year. Greg is still alive. He is so proud of me.
Yeah.
the things I've been able to
That's
accomplish. So that's a beautiful thing.
That's outstanding. Yeah. So, you know, obviously from an early age, you were different. You had great, you know, skills. You were an athlete. People understood sort of the path for you, and you were obviously very focused on it because you did great. High school state championship, went off to MSU, and
Okay.
and went off to Michigan State University, won a national championship there, then off to the Lakers, right? And won a championship, you know, right away there as well. One other thing that happened for you, though, is that you developed this relationship with Dr. Jerry Buss. And the owner-player relationship, very, very unusual, I'm sure, back then, probably very unusual now.
Yes.
Can you talk about how that actually came about, and also talk about how he impacted not just you as a player, but how he also impacted sort of the business person that you've become?
Yeah, we both came in together. He was a rookie owner. He had just bought the Lakers. I remember the Lakers and the Kings and the Forum for $65 million.
Yeah.
And
That's pretty good.
and you know what the Lakers just sold for, right? $10 billion.
Yeah.
So he bought the team, and they selected me. This is really crazy that we're here. If that coin flip had went the other way, you guys would have never had Michael Jordan.
You remember?
Think about that. So it was a coin flip between Chicago and LA. It went LA's way, I end up with the Lakers. Because if I would have came here, Michael wouldn't have never got it.
You even.
Because
You'd have been winning.
We wouldn't have been losing.
Right,
So,
right.
you know, so the coin flip went the right way. The MJ that was supposed to end in LA ended up in LA, and the MJ that was supposed to end up in Chicago ended up in Chicago.
That's right.
So, you know, I got off the bus or the plane, really, and here I am as a rookie. I wanted to prove that I belong. So, first, I had to dominate on the court. And we ended up winning the championship my rookie season. Yeah. And I ended up being the first rookie ever, and still the only rookie ever to become the NBA's Finals MVP as we won that championship. Thank you. So I said, can I meet with you over the summer? And he said, yeah. I said, listen, my dreams are to become a businessman. And would you become my mentor and teach me business? And he said, are you serious? I said, yeah, I'm very serious, and I do whatever it takes. He said, okay, we're going to be meeting all the time. I said, I don't care. You tell me the time, I'll be there. And I'm going to be there, I will be ahead of time. Yeah. And so he tested me out. So we were supposed to meet at 1. I was there at 12. And waiting on him. And he said, oh, okay, you are serious. I said, yeah. So he started teaching me business. But the one thing that he did that really changed my life was he opened up the Laker books to me and showed me all the revenue streams of the Lakers. And I did not know. See, it's one thing to be a player, but you think you know, but you really don't know. Right. And when I saw what, you know, the fans in terms of the customers that come through our doors, what that meant to the bottom line, and what the sponsorship means, the TV deals, the radio deal, on and on and on, I said, wow, I was blown away. Yeah. And then, strange enough, we hanging out now. He wants to meet with me all the time, so I'm right next to him, shoulder to shoulder. And so something happened that was really unusual. The team called a meeting on me. Yeah. I'm thinking it's a team meeting, and we're going to discuss the Celtics or something like that, because, you know, I ate Larry and the... So I'm thinking we're going to discuss the Celtics or something like that. So the guy said, listen, man, you can't hang out with the owner. Wow. It's an unwritten rule that you can't hang out with the owner. So you got to stop hanging out with the owner. So, you know, I always, before I say something, I think first. Because I didn't know if I should go left or not, but I did. Yeah. I just said, let me think about it. So I said to them, you guys are millionaires, he's a billionaire, I'm hanging out with the billionaire. So, hold on. Why? Because he can take me where I wanted to go. And once I explained to them, I want to go somewhere. Yeah. So I used to sit in the back of a bus. They talk about their dreams. I'll be telling them the whole time I wanted to become a businessman. So every city I stopped in, I would always meet with CEOs. When I stopped in Chicago, I called Mr. Johnson and asked him would he meet with me. Yeah. I went up there. It was a great meeting for me. Called Mayor Daley, would you meet with me? Mayor Daley met with me. Talked to him. There was some grumbling around there. They were like, what? And so every city. And so the one meeting that really changed my life was when I met with Howard Schultz of Starbucks. Wow. He was sitting at courtside in Seattle, and so I'm doing the layup line, and I turned, there he is. And I was like, oh, that's Howard Schultz. So I called the ball boy over, get me a pen and paper. So I went over there, can I have your phone number? Because I want to meet with you next time I come up to Seattle. See, you guys you think I'm crazy. That's how I am, you know. Yeah. He gave me his phone number. Of course I would like to meet with you. And so he met with me, and the rest is history.
That changed it.
Yeah, I became, oh, thank you. Yeah. I became the only person outside of Starbucks to own Starbucks. I built 125 stores in 40 different markets. Yeah. And I built 9 of those right here in Chicago. Yeah. So it's really wonderful. Yeah. And so I think that for me, I've always been a person who, I didn't gravitate toward the entertainers and the athletes. Yeah. I always gravitated toward the business community and the leaders in the business world. And if it wasn't for Dr. Buss taking me up under his wings, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be on this stage. And us going against the norm. Mm-hmm. And so what he built, he was a visionary. He thought outside the box. Yeah. You know, sports at that time was black and white. Yeah. He didn't think like that. Yeah. And so that allowed me not to think like that. Yeah. I've always been a thinker outside the box. And so I think that's a part of my secret sauce and a part of my, it'll be a part of my legacy.
Yeah, I think it's, on the topic of thinking outside the box, every athlete that I've ever met was represented by an agent who was also a sports agent, right? You decide that you want to be represented by an agent who not only is not a sports agent, has no interest in representing anyone in the sports field. Can you help us sync up with that logic and why you took that approach and how it actually played out and what the benefit was for you and what were you thinking?
Oh, great question. One thing great about the Lakers, we just like the Bulls or the Bears, this whole community supports the team, the business community. Same thing in Los Angeles. And so one day I went into Dr. Buss' office and said, will you give me all the phone numbers of all the CEOs and presidents of companies who are season ticket holders of the Lakers? And they said, what you want their phone number for? I said, I want to cold call them and take them to lunch. I want to pick their brain. Mm-hmm. And so he gave me the numbers. And And he circled about 10 of them that you really need to know these men and women. One of those guys that he circled was Michael Ovitz. He told me that Michael Ovitz was the most powerful man in Hollywood, and you should get to know him. I said, okay, so I called Michael Ovitz up. He took my call, and I said, I would like to have a meeting with you. And he said, okay, come. I think it was 2 o'clock. So I got there at 1.
Sensing a theme.
Yeah, that's my theme.
Yeah.
So 2 o'clock came, nobody came to get me. 3 o'clock came, nobody came to get me. 4 o'clock came, nobody came to get me. 5 o'clock. Then finally, the assistant came out and said, okay, he's ready to see you. I said, oh, okay. I walk in and he says, why shall I represent you? I have all the top actors, directors, producers. Athletes usually spend more money than they make. Yeah. And nice to meet you. See you later.
Oh.
Wait a minute. We're 3 hours late.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a 5-minute meeting, he kicks me out. I thought I was 6'9" walking in. I was probably 5'9" walking out. Right? And that taught me a valuable lesson that nobody cares that I'm Magic Johnson. And he calls me back 3 weeks later and says, I've done my whole homework on you, and everybody says that you're serious about becoming a businessman. He called me back in, and he said, what part of the newspaper do you read first? I said, of course, the sports page. He said, wrong answer. If you want to be a businessman, you got to read the business page first. So he gave me a stack of magazines and papers to read, the Wall Street Journal, on. If you read all of these and you come back, I'm going to do a test. If you pass the test, I'll represent you. Because he didn't think I was going to read them.
Yeah.
Man, I read them that night when I got home. And I came back and I passed the test. And he is the one who introduced me to Pepsi and the CEO. And that's when we did my first big deal with Earl Graves and myself. And then I just took off from there. Yeah. And you know what? I went to pay him all those times. He wouldn't take a dime from me.
Wow.
He renegotiated my contract with the Lakers. I said, how much do I owe? Wouldn't take a dime. But he took me out in the community and introduced me to everybody. And that's when I understood that I had to also become involved in the community and get to know the power players, from the mayor all the way down, right? And so that's when I understood private-public partnerships and things like that. He was the one that put that on my mind, and so I owe Michael Ovitz a lot. Yeah. And we're still friends today, just like Howard Schultz and I are still friends today. And those two changed my mindset.
You still have that list of CEOs and phone numbers. I'd like to borrow that.
Well, you're one of them now, right? And so, think about this. I'm in business with 6 of those people, even today.
That's amazing.
And so that's a true blessing. And so, oh, thank you. Yeah.
So you, at the ripe old age of 36, you retire. I mean, that doesn't even sound right, but that is the reality for professional athletes, right? And so after some time, you decide it's time to get into business and get into it in a big way. Now, you did well, obviously, in basketball, and you had your endorsements and the rest, and you did well hanging on to a fair amount of that, but you wanted to do it big, right? So now it's time to go see the banks and big-time investors and folks who run the funds. And so I'm guessing you put on your best suit, you grabbed the suitcase, you made sure it was empty so you could put all the money in it that they were going to be throwing at you. And you went to see them, and what was it? Here's $100 million for you. Here's $100 million. How did that go?
I wish it was that simple.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that easy. When I first started, my company, I used my own money. And Michael Ovitz said, That's the wrong thing. You got to use other people's money. Got it. Okay. So when I went to get money from the banks, 10 of them turned me down.
10.
Yeah. They wanted the picture and the autograph, but that's about it.
Okay.
They didn't believe in my business strategy or business thesis. They didn't believe in urban America.
Yeah.
So it was a hard sell. And then finally one said yes.
Okay.
Because I couldn't get growth and sustainability with my own money. I had to have, like you said, $100 million or so to really take my company to another level. And so finally, I was able to talk somebody into giving me that type of money. And they said, okay, well, this is what really happened. I went to CalPERS and CalSTRS. They both said no for 3 years straight.
Wow.
Then CalPERS finally said, okay, we're going to give you the money. If you're successful with the money, you can come back and get more money. And sure enough, I'm a competitor. So when they said, here's that $50 to $100 million, I'm going to make that work. And I bought a shopping center for $22 million. It was only 40% occupied. I took it to 100% occupied. I resold it for $48 million, took the $26 million profit up to CalPERS up in Sacramento and said, here you go. Yeah. And they said, okay, you do know business. We can make money in the inner cities of America. And that's when I took off. And so, but it wasn't just for me. I think it was also for a lot of minorities and a lot of athletes who were coming behind me as well. Absolutely. And so that's when I started my real estate fund. And I partner with a lot of people. I like partnerships. I bring something to the table. They bring something to the table. And Jim and I are partners. I mean, and so Mark Walters, who is from Chicago, we're partners in the Dodgers and Equitrust and on and on and on. So I love partnerships. And I know how to play my role to help us become successful. And so my business took off from there. And then I had a private equity fund as well. We did the real estate fund first, then the private equity fund, and just kept going from there. But it wasn't an easy road. I don't want anybody to think it's been easy because I was Magic Johnson. Actually, Magic Johnson worked against me. Yeah. And then even with the track record of success, right? The Starbucks was successful. The Magic Johnson theaters were very successful. Nobody really still believed in me, right, as a businessman. And then, but we finally convinced institutional capital that I knew what I was doing and that they would get a return on their investment. And so now I'm partners with all those CalPERS, CalSTRS. I can go up and get money. But then Mark Walters said, you don't need them. Come to me for funding. I said, okay, Mark.
That's better right. That's better right.
So that's what I do. I just partner with him, and when I want to do something, we do it together.
Yeah. If we can take a step back a little bit, because I think people would generally have the impression that, everything you touch just turns to gold. And whenever you wanted to do something, the people were there to support it, and you would have walked right in, and people would have handed you money. But the reality is that it doesn't work like that for everyone, and you are human just like everyone else. So when you retire from basketball, you retired. Your retirement probably wasn't exactly as you envisioned, right? And then you actually went into broadcasting, right? And that didn't end up probably the way that you envisioned.
That's right.
And then you said, I'm gonna go get all this money, and you went in and found out they were interested in meeting Magic and taking pictures and calling everybody and telling them that they met you, but they didn't want to give Earvin Johnson their money, right? How do you deal with rejection? How did you deal with no? Because obviously you persevered. You are what you are. Right. right? But how did you personally manage through that and get back up and try again? 10 banks, 10 no's. Talk to us about that, if you would.
And I'm going to stand up because I like standing up.
Please.
Is that okay?
Please.
Okay.
Do it. Hey.
Good.
This is your world, brother.
I like to be down with the people. So, a hell of a question. See, when I get knocked down, I get back up. I wasn't going to stop until I met with every bank. And I knew the spending power of minorities. Thank you. There you go. You see your sons, they were watching closely. Is Dad going to make it? Or do we need the hot pads for him tonight, right? And I love your boys, too.
Thank you.
But what happens is, yeah, it's painful to get rejected and no's, but I was going to keep going. I knew that it was a $2-3 trillion spending power minorities, both Latinos and African Americans have. And I knew that I could be successful in urban America. And I just kept going. And sure enough, when they took a chance on me, I was going to win, not only for myself, but for CalPERS and for my partners. And so I've been winning my whole life. I don't know nothing else. And I'm going to put the time in for me and my partners to be successful. And so I'm a tireless worker. I get up at 4 o'clock every single morning with no clock. And I go to the gym for 2 hours, and I'm at work all day. And so that's all I know. And I love what I do. And my partners never have to worry about me. I'm going to do my job. So I think for me, it's just rejection was there, but look what happened. Somebody said yes. I took advantage of the opportunity, and I continue to take advantage of opportunities in business. And so I tell players and athletes who want to become business women and men, I said, listen, it's not going to be easy. But you just got to put the time in. Just like it took you all that time to become a great football player, basketball player, whatever, it's going to take you the same amount of time to become a great business person. And so, and it might even be harder, right? And so, but I always tell them, go meet with your owners. And go meet with the mayor, and here, go meet with the alderman here. You know, go see what's happening in the city. Come and meet with people like yourselves who can give them great business tips. A lot of times I tell the athletes, man, at the Bear games, there's 70, 80,000 people. There's a lot of business people. Go meet with them, see? And somebody's going to say, hey, I want to mentor you. Somebody's going to say, hey, I want to help you. Because the one thing I knew, I didn't know business. So you had to admit to yourself, you don't know business. So I got to get with people like yourselves to help teach me business. And that's what I did. I wasn't afraid to do that. I'm not afraid to ask for help. And I know what I know, and I know what I don't know.
You know, one of the things that I'm fascinated by is when you did get the financial support that you needed to start your business in a big way, a big way, you turned to underrepresented communities, and you made that the foundation. You took all that money and you made that the foundation of your business. After fighting that hard to get the money, where others looked at those communities and they saw risk and didn't want to invest, you looked at those communities and you saw opportunity. Can you talk to us about why, and you did it with restaurants, you did it with Magic Johnson movie theaters, you did it with Starbucks. why did you have that belief that you were willing to bet everything? Because it was for you at that time. It was everything. It was other people's money, right? That you fought hard to get. Why did you have so much conviction to
That's
do
a
that?
great question. Because I knew they were hungry for a coffee house or somewhere to take their family or take their friends. See, Starbucks was more than just Starbucks in our community. It's a meeting place. We don't have meeting places, so it became a meeting place. So this is what I want you to understand. See, my per caps were higher than his per caps. The suburban stores, about $5. Mine was almost towards $6 a person. They were spending money at the Starbucks. See, in my urban stores, we make a couple purchases, and not just a coffee. We want the dessert too, because I took the scones out of my Starbucks. And I put in sweet potato pie, peach cobbler, sakatini cake. So, understanding your customer, over-delivering to your customer, and then I took that sad elevator music out of my Starbucks and put in Earth, Wind, and Fire, Commodore, Michael Jackson, Beyonce. So understanding that I know my customer, I got to over-deliver to that customer. And so when I think about the run we had, I knew that I had to be successful, but I did all my homework and research, and I knew the numbers, and I knew, I did a lot of meetings, town hall meetings. What's missing in our community, and what do you want? And they told me a place to take their friends, whether that was Starbucks or a restaurant, and that's why I concentrated on getting Starbucks. And then you have to know every market. Like in Chicago, they don't want to get out their car, so I got to have drive-through.
Yeah.
Get it? New York, grab and go. They don't have time. New Yorkers like to grab and go. You got to get them out that line fast. LA, we want to chill. No, seriously. We want to grab our coffee and sit there for a long time. So you got to understand all the markets that you in, they're different. And we were able to make sure that whatever was good in those markets, we supplied that and brought that to the customer, and that's why we were able to win. And I sold them all back to Howard. I was so happy when he said, hey, we had a 10-year deal, and we were making so much money, and we had built 125 that we said we were going to build. And he said, hey, you want to exit early? I looked at the multiple, and I said, that looks good. And so I sold them all back to Howard, and at the same time, I was a Laker owner, and Kobe was getting toward the end. Oh, can we clap for Kobe for a second? Yeah. So the market value of the Lakers were great, and I said, it's time to sell. And then with all that cash, hundreds of millions of dollars, who would ever think that the Dodgers would be for sale? How about that? And as Les knows, my friend Mark Walters flew in from Chicago with Todd Bowley, and I interviewed 6 billionaires. Here's a brother from the hood. Grew up with one pair of pants and one suit. Anybody remember Robert Halls? It's 2 suits in one. So I had one suit, but it was actually 2 suits, right? So I interviewed 6 billionaires to buy the Dodgers, and because the LA fan base wanted somebody from LA to be a part of the ownership group. And Stephen Cohen came in, and I said, no, Stephen and I that didn't work for me. Now he owns the Mets, but that's okay, you know, it works for the Mets. It's just he wasn't my taste, and I probably wasn't his taste, and that's okay. And so, but when Mark came in, we hit it off right away. And I told Mark that I wanted to do not just the Dodgers, but I want to do 6 or 10 deals with him. Yeah. And he's kept his word. We've been able to do that. We turned the Dodgers around. I know it's a lot of Cub fans in the building, but you beat us, remember? When you won your championship, you beat us. So, but we've been very, very successful with the Dodgers and with his leadership. And so life is great. Yeah. I'm happy. Our revenues are probably the most amazing. I mean, what we've been able to do with the Dodgers has been truly a blessing, especially when we signed Ohtani. That changed everything.
So it's interesting when you've got this incredibly diverse holding of business, just different types of insurance, financial, infrastructure. When you kind of peel it all back, though, you have this incredible core of sports ownership. You know, you have the Commanders, you have the Sparks, you have the Dodgers, and on and on. Was it when you were thinking about becoming a big-time businessman, even when you were playing, was it always your dream to also own a sports team or 6?
No. I cannot lie to you and say that was my dream. Okay. Owning the Lakers was my dream.
Okay, yeah.
And Dr. Buss said, okay, but you got to write a check. I said, okay. I saved my money, so I was prepared. And I wrote that big check, and it paid off big time. But sports teams' valuation has changed forever. If you got a chance to get in, you better get in. No, think about this. $65 million Dr. Buss paid, the Lakers sold for $10 billion. Jerry Jones, $60 million. Now the team was what, 12, 13 billion. It's the #1 value sports team in the world now, past the soccer teams. Remember the soccer teams, Madrid, Real Madrid, all those 3 teams, the big teams used to be the highest value teams in the world. Not anymore. Yeah. I think the Yankees even second, right? So when you think about sports teams' valuation, it's changed. Yeah. You got some Chicago Sky owners up here. Yeah. And so now, I've owned the Sparks for 11 years. We only wrote checks, never received checks. Everything's changed forever now. And Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark came into the league, and more sponsors, TV deal that we never had before. And so now we only bought it for a couple million. Now we're up around $400 million, right, and growing. Yeah. And thank God we hung on to that asset, because we never thought we were going to make any money, really. And now things have changed, and those ladies deserve a big raise, yes, no question about it. And so we know that they're going to end up with that, but things have changed, right? When I bought this into the soccer team, the women's soccer team, things were good, but now they're great, what the team is worth. LAFC, last year we were the only team valued over $1 billion, but now there's 2 other teams. The valuation keep rising for that. So when I think about when I first invested, I was happy, but now I'm really I'm really excited, because the valuation of every sports league. Now, I talked to a media buyer just recently. Do you know the top 100 programs that people watched in America? You know the top 87 was sports. So now every Fortune 500 company, every Fortune 100 company, when they make commercials, and they're looking to make sure that that content or that commercial
Of course.
is on the NFL or the NBA or on and on and on. And so look what happened with Netflix. They were said, oh, we're not going to do sports. So they finally did one. I think it was Kansas City and somebody last year on Christmas Day. Highest rated Netflix show all year when they played that game. That's how sports are so popular.
Power sport.
It's powerful. Young people like your sons want it on their phone. Things have changed. Now the streaming services have gotten into sports.
Yeah.
The gambling sites have gotten into sports. I mean, things have changed forever for the landscape of sports. And I'm sure he sees that with the Bulls and on and on and on. So the Bulls are worth a lot of money. I think I'm going to talk to Michael when you run a sale. I'm going to have the 2 MJs come back and buy the team.
There you go. Well, Earvin, when you decide to buy your next team, you let me know. I'll put $1,500 on it. I'll put $1,500 on it.
Because you got to do it for the boys.
For the boy, it's for the family. I'll put $1,500 on it.
Right, that's right.
Hey, so I talked earlier about the love that Chicago has for you, but on the flip side, you got love for Chicago. I know that. I mean, when we look at what you are quietly or hopefully not so quietly doing, and everyone here needs to know about it and be aware of it, your business interests in Chicago are significant. And you are, you got Equitrust, you are in business with our very own, the great Jim Reynolds with Loop Capital, doing infrastructure and finance work, Sodexo Magic. You talk about, those businesses and what they mean for your overall enterprise, and tell us again why you love Chicago so much.
I think you just said it. Kenyatta is here somewhere. I don't know where he is. Yeah. And he's a part of our team and running, what are we now, $35 billion. And him and the team have just done a wonderful job at Equitrust, and we continue to grow. And it's been, when we bought it, we were about 14 billion, but we've just been doing an excellent job. Jim and I, with our infrastructure and the airports, solar, energy, I mean, we're into a lot of different things. And now with Kennedy Airport, we won that contract. We're about to build 15 new gates at Kennedy. And what I'm really proud of is that we're going to spend about $1.5 billion with women, veteran, and minority-owned firms. That's really important. And so, it's just been an amazing run for us. Yes, Equitrust is here. Of course, Loop Capital is here. I built a lot of mixed use here. People don't know that because I didn't really tell anybody. So I used to own about 4 or 5 mixed use, condos on top and retail on the bottom. And so we've done a lot of investing here in Chicago. Charles Johnson, head of Sodexo, which is over here. He's over here. And he's done an amazing job being the president of Sodexo, and we built that from the ground up. And so when I think about Chicago, it always would be my favorite city. Plus, my grandmother used to live here. I still have cousins here. My family used to drive here to Chicago and come see my grandmother. I used to have some great basketball games out there at the park. And so everywhere I went, they knew I was going to play basketball somewhere, you know. And so, no, this has been a great city and easy city to do business. And I think that you've always had mayors in place to say, hey, come on in and bring your money and capital, spend it here in Chicago. And that's been a key to it as well. And then I found great partners. I know Don is not here. Him and Liz are not around. We're also partners, and also he's my bid whiz partner. You know, I play cards with Don. We have a good time. So, yes, Chicago is a great place, and business has been good. Michael Jordan spoiled my basketball success, so the Bulls coming here to play basketball, Michael would put on a show, especially when that announcer start growling and saying his name, and he get that tongue out.
You knew what was coming, right?
Man, was that amazing. You guys, that was,
Yeah.
did your boys get to see that? They're not old enough, right?
No, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a minute for them. I have something for them.
You put the tape
on.
Go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Man, you missed it. Woo, wow.
So speaking of basketball, you know, I can't help but feel like I know these are, you know, 1,600 of your closest Chicago friends, but it kind of feels like we're vibing.
Yes.
Like there's going to be a great friendship going on.
Don't be doing business.
That's right.
So,
So if tomorrow, you know, you have this famously competitive streak. If tomorrow we were hanging out and we just happened to find ourselves on a basketball court and I said, hey, let's play game 21. Let's play game 20. And knowing, you know, I got 3 boys, they look up to me, I could go home and I could brag, oh, I beat Magic Johnson in basketball at 21. I smashed him. You know how important that would be to me.
yeah.
Could you find it somewhere in your spirit to allow me to win that game?
Let me answer it for you this way. My daughter played point guard in high school, 8, 9 years ago. My wife says, play her one-on-one, because you can help her get better. I said, no. I don't want to play her because I know who I am. When your wife tells you do something twice, you better get to it.
Right.
So she told me, no, go play her. And so I said, baby, we're going to go to 10. You get the ball. I let her get to 9. That was hard for me to do. But I let her get to 9. And then I crushed her. And so...
Yeah. Fair enough.
Listen, we were at a resort a couple years ago. A young man played at a college, him and his family there. It was a basketball court just over there. And he says, yeah, Match, I want to play you one-on-one. Yeah. So my wife, I got to get a signal for me to go take care of business, you know. But she didn't give me the signal that I could go handle business. So I said, no, I'm just here with my wife. I want to sit at the lawn chair. So the next day, his dad says, oh, you just scared to play my son.
Oh, no.
So I looked to the left, and my wife gave me the signal. So once I got the signal from Cookie,
Yeah. It was on.
I knew what to do. So it's an outside court, so I had to get my range, because outside and inside a little different.
Yeah.
So I got my bearings. So we played 10 games around the world. How many of you think he won? None. Listen, I play to win.
Yeah.
And I have, oh, thank you. Because of all the teams, I have 18 World Championship rings.
Yeah.
And so it's been amazing with the Lakers, now with all the teams that we own. I hope that we can decide who the NFC can go to the Super Bowl one day. They're going to go to the playoff. We're not going to do that this year. So if we're not going to be there, I'm pulling for Kevin, because I love what he stands for. And so, but I hope one day to get a Super Bowl ring, because that's the only major sport ring I don't have. Yeah. And but that game that we played, we got 2 the best young quarterbacks in the game today,
Yeah,
both
no
of
doubt,
us. And
no
so
doubt.
we're blessed to have that. And I think that that's why the league probably schedules us every year, because when you think about the two stars, Caleb and Jaden, they're going to be great for years to come. And I'm really happy about what both of them are doing for the league and for their teams.
Yeah. Speak.
So, no, I'm not going to let you win.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
I appreciate how tactfully you handled that. Look, from back in the day when you were playing, do you have one rival who you played against, who not only was extremely good and who you could not stand, but who also talked more trash than anyone else, but could back it up? Who would it be?
Listen, the two biggest trash talkers in history. One played in this town who bagged it up too. Mm-hmm. Michael used to tell you what he was going to do to you. So, MJ, come here. So we call each other MJ. So I came to half court, and he says, tell Byron I'm about to get 50 on him tonight. I'm like, wait a minute. You want me to deliver to my teammate, you going to score 50 on him? He went out there and scored 55. Michael, I love LeBron. I really do. But he's not Michael. Yeah. And what that man could do, I had to talk him into joining us in the Olympics. So when I got the call from Commissioner Stern that I was on the Olympic team, the dream team, I was blown away, happy, doing cartwheels and everything. Then he finally said, but you got a job to do. I said, what? You have to talk Larry Bird into playing and Michael Jordan. Thanks a lot, Commissioner. So I knew that Larry, this was our last hurrah. So I said, Larry, come on, man. I know your back is hurting, but all you got to do is go to the corner. And you don't have to worry. I'm going to get it right to you. And just shoot the shot. That's all you got to do. He said, that's all I got to do? I said, that's all you got to do. He said, well, okay, I'm in. Now I got to get MJ. Yeah. So I said, what can I do to convince Michael? So I said, I got it. I said, look, Michael, I'm going to play cards with you every single night. Yeah. You going to play cards with me every single night? Yes. I said, you and I, one-on-one, you bring your money, I bring mine. Somebody going to walk out with all the money. So he finally said, okay. See, he a competitor like me. So we end up playing cards. We were on the road for 6 weeks. We played every single night.
Wow.
And he wouldn't let me leave unless he was on top. Right. But I didn't know how strong Michael was. We played cards till 5 a.m. I want you guys to get this. He had an 8 o'clock tea time. Slept for 2 hours. Played 18, sometimes even longer, holes of golf. Took a 1-hour nap. Scored 30 at halftime, by halftime. And we had to do this over again. I said, about the 10th day, Michael, I can't keep this up. But he could. Yeah. The guy was, we haven't, and we will never see anybody like Michael Jordan. Yeah. It's just what he was able to do in crucial moments. He dominated and never lost. 6 championships, never lost in the finals. Yeah. He's special. And so he talked trash, and then that other dude in the green and white. if we put on them hot pants we used to wear. Larry and I have been linked together. We changed the league together.
Yeah, you did.
We were able to take basketball to a whole nother level. And then, of course, when Michael came in and went, just went crazy. That game that I played in college against Larry Bird is still the #1 watch game in history. And playing him in the NBA Finals was the most amazing thing I've ever been a part of. Those Celtic teams, that front line is still the greatest front line that's ever played basketball. Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Larry Bird. It took everything that we had inside of us and some more to beat the Celtics. And I had my highest of highs beating the Celtics and my lowest of lows when we lost to the Celtics. So Larry Bird made me a better basketball player. I got to give him credit. And I think I pushed him to be better as well. And I love him. And now I got to tell you one business story. You'll love this. So we're playing the Bulls in the 1991 finals. And, oh, wow. Okay, you won. I know. I know. You see, he didn't clap yet, so I was waiting on him to clap, but he didn't clap yet. So, that's a speaker. So it's game one, and MJ, we both out there like 4 hours before the game, 3 hours before the game. So we're warming up, getting ready. We're the only ones out there. So he says, Magic, MJ, come here. So I came to half court. You know we're going to beat you in this NBA final. you know, he always got to just, I said, Michael, you guys don't have enough experience to beat us. We're going to beat you. And nah, MJ, we're going to take you guys down. I said, I'm going to win either way. He said, what are you talking about? So he had a shirt on that had his face on the front and back. And I had the similar shirt, but it was different. I said, look on the hang tag and see what it says on your T-shirt. And it said, Magic Johnson Tees. So what he didn't know, I was a licensee of the NBA. And I can make Michael Jordan T-shirts. I became the first person, first athlete, first player to ever become a licensee of the league, because I went in and said, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. But hold on. I went to Larry, I said, did you get some money off all them T-shirts and sweatshirts? Our face is on, name is on. He said, no, I didn't get a check either. So I flew to New York. True story. David Stern, hey, Commissioner, where's my check at? You know, Larry Bird and I are #1 and #2 in sales. We didn't receive a check. He said, sorry, Magic. The Players Association sold all your rights to the league. Wow. I said, well, I'm not going to be playing next year then, sure. And he said, hold on, stop. And he didn't say that. David Stern liked to cuss, but I can't say those words.
Right, thank you.
He said, I said, well, what are we going to do about it? I said, well, let me become a licensee of the league. He said, well, we got all these other, you have to be different. I said, I'll bring something different. So I searched all across the country to see somebody who was making something different, and I found this company who was making prints on front and back. I partnered with them. And I went in, took the shirt in to him. He said, oh, we don't have this. I said, that's right. So I got a partial license. He said, if you come in the top 10 highest grossing licensees in our group, you can come back and I give you a full license. We came in number 7, especially with Michael Jordan selling all those shirts. And sure enough, I became a full licensee, and that's why I got a chance to make a lot of money off of both of our shirts and Larry's shirts. But I want you to applaud somebody. Ryan, stand on up, man. This man has built your Bears team. See, now you got to be happy, because you were moaning and groaning for a lot of years. But when you have two great men in leadership positions who understand winning and doing it the right way, and I want to applaud you, because I wouldn't be here without you and Jim and Charles. You said you wanted to have me, and I really appreciate you inviting me. Because you could have invited anybody else in the country to be here. We got to stand up and give him a standing ovation, because he's the reason that I'm here. Brett, thank you for allowing me to be here. God bless you. I can't hear you, Chicago. Thank you for your invitation.
Appreciate you, brother.
Hold on one second. Thank you for your leadership, too, and what you do for the country, not just here in Chicago, just not for United either. What you do, you're a great leader.
Appreciate it.
I had a chance to spend a lot of time with him in the back, and we have similar visions and business strategy, and this is a smart man, but also a man who loves this city. And he wanted to bring you always the best. He represents the best of class, and that's what it's all about. I want to say happy holidays to everybody here. May God continue to bless you